Before you scroll, listen to this with your full heart, because this is not just another love message passing by your screen. Something brought you here at this exact moment, and by the time you reach the end, you may understand why one person in your life has felt so close, then so far, so warm, then so silent. There is a reason their energy around you has been hard to read. There is a reason they look like they want to say something, then stop themselves at the last second. And the truth is bigger than you think. This is not about them losing interest. It is not about them finding fault in you. It is not even about the fear your mind keeps whispering late at night. It is about one thing they notice when they look at you, one thing they cannot shake, one thing that reaches deeper into them than they ever planned for. Stay with me, because the next few minutes may change how you see yourself forever. Do not leave yet, because what feels like distance may actually be love fighting with fear, and once you hear the full truth, you may never look at their silence the same way again. If this message found you at the right time, take that as a sign, because someone's hidden feelings are already closer to the surface than you realize. There is a person, a very real person, who loves you more deeply than they have been able to admit. They think about you when everything gets quiet. They replay little moments with you in their mind. They remember the exact way you looked at them once, the exact tone in your voice, the exact pause before you answered a question, and somehow those small things stayed with them longer than they should have. But even with all of that, they have been holding back. They have been confused by the strength of what they feel. And yes, part of that confusion is connected to your appearance, but not in the cold, shallow way people usually fear. So breathe for a second and keep listening. This is not about the world's fake standards. This is not about perfection. This is not about whether you match someone else's idea of beauty. It goes deeper than that. They see something in you that feels honest, unguarded, and emotionally real. That is what shakes them. That is what makes them step back even while their heart keeps pulling them closer. If you have ever felt someone loving you and fearing you at the same time, then you already know this kind of energy is intense. Comment if that has ever happened to you, because what comes next explains everything in a way your heart has probably been trying to understand for a long time. This person notices things other people miss. While most people only see your smile, they notice the softness behind it and the pain you tried to hide. While others hear your laughter and keep moving, they hear the tiredness under it. While others judge fast and forget faster, this person watches with a kind of attention that almost scares them. They look at your face and feel something deeper than attraction. They see your eyes and feel questions they cannot answer. They notice the way your expression changes when you are holding back emotion. They notice the brave look you wear when life has been heavy. They notice when your confidence is real and when it is covering an old wound. And that is exactly why they struggle. You do not just look beautiful to them. You look true. You look like someone who has lived, someone who has carried pain, someone who still found a way to stay soft. That kind of presence reaches people in places they usually keep locked. Stay until the end, because this part matters more than you think. The thing they are struggling to accept is not a flaw in you. It is the power of what your face, your eyes, your silence, and your whole energy reveal without even trying. You make them feel seen, and for someone who has hidden for a long time, that is both beautiful and terrifying. There are moments when this person stares at your pictures longer than they mean to. Not because they are judging you, not because they are comparing you to anyone else. They are trying to understand why your face feels familiar to their soul, why your presence stays in their chest after the moment is over, why one look from you can follow them into the night and sit with them in silence when the whole world goes still. One side of them wants to run to you. The other side wants to protect itself, because loving someone like you does not feel casual. It does not feel light. It feels real, and real love is hard for people who learn to survive by hiding their feelings. That is why they get close and then pull away. That is why their eyes sometimes say more than their words ever will. That is why their energy changes around you without warning. Every time they look at you, they do not just see a person. They feel truth. They feel vulnerability. They feel the kind of connection that can break every wall they spent years building. And yes, that scares them. So if you have been blaming yourself, stop for a moment. The issue was never that you were not enough. The issue is that you are real enough to make them face parts of themselves they were not ready to meet. Do not skip this, because the next truth may hit even deeper. The thing they struggle to accept is not that you are imperfect. It is that your appearance carries honesty in a world full of performance. Your face does not feel fake to them. Your energy does not feel rehearsed. Even your quiet moments say something real. In a world filled with filters, masks, polished lines, and empty attention, you feel human to them, deeply human, and that changes everything. When they look at you, they do not just see how you look. They feel what you have survived. They sense the tenderness you still carry. They recognize the tired strength in you. And that kind of truth does not let a person stay comfortable for long. It pushes them to ask harder questions about themselves. It pushes them to feel things they buried years ago. That is why they can seem distant after a close moment. That is why they may go silent after showing interest. That is why the connection can feel strong one day and confusing the next. Do not leave now, because this is where it gets even clearer. Their struggle is not rejection, it is emotional shock. You touched something in them that they thought was gone. You reminded them that love is not always smooth, simple, or safe. Sometimes it arrives through one honest face, one sad smile, one pair of eyes that says too much without speaking. And once that happens, there is no easy way to pretend it meant nothing. Very soon, something between you is going to shift. It may be a small conversation. It may be one message sent at the right time. It may be a look that lasts a second too long. It may be one quiet moment where neither of you says much, but everything changes anyway. And when that moment comes, you will start to understand why they acted the way they did. Their distance was never empty. Their silence was never simple. They were afraid that if they let themselves love you fully, all of their own hidden pain would rise to the surface. They were afraid your honesty would expose their scars. They were afraid that someone as genuine as you would see through every layer they built to stay safe. Stay with me, because this is important. They did not expect to meet someone who felt this different. They were ready for passing connections, surface talk, easy distractions, and half-hearted attention. Then you appeared, and nothing felt easy anymore. Suddenly they cared too much. Suddenly details mattered. Suddenly your mood affected them. Suddenly one small change in your face could stay in their head all day. That is not casual interest. That is not ordinary attraction. That is emotional involvement growing stronger than they know how to manage. And the more they try to hide it, the heavier it becomes inside them. This gets even deeper because the feature they keep reacting to in your appearance is tied to something old inside them. Maybe it is the softness in your eyes. Maybe it is the tired look you carry when you are doing your best to stay strong. Maybe it is the hidden sadness that passes across your face before you cover it up again. Whatever it is, it touches a wound from their past. It reminds them of feelings they buried. It wakes up memories they thought were finished. That is why they sometimes go quiet when they are around you. That is why their expression changes when you are not looking. That is why they seem overwhelmed by moments that appear small on the outside. It is not because they do not want you. It is because they feel you too much. If they did not care, none of this would affect them so deeply. But it does. Every glance, every pause, every little shift in your mood. It all lands inside them harder than they want to admit. And that scares them because once a person realizes someone matters this much, they also realize how much they could lose. Do not scroll away now, because the next part reveals what they have been hiding from even themselves. They are not fighting your appearance. They are fighting what your appearance awakens inside their own heart, and that is a very different kind of struggle. This person remembers tiny details about you that even you may have forgotten. The way your eyes move away when you are hurt but trying not to show it. The way your face softens when someone finally understands you. The way your expression changes in that quiet second before you smile again after almost breaking down. They carry those moments with them. They replay them at night. They feel them in silence. And they hate how little control they have over it, because they are used to staying in control. They are used to handling emotions from a distance. But with you, distance does not work. Silence does not work. Distraction does not work. Love entered before they were ready, and now they are standing between two choices they cannot keep avoiding forever. Keep resisting what they feel, or finally meet it honestly. Stay until the end, because the truth gets stronger from here. This person already knows, somewhere deep inside, that you are not replaceable to them. They know no one else carries your exact energy. No one else leaves this kind of mark on them. No one else makes them feel both calm and shaken at the same time. That is why their behavior seems mixed. Their heart has chosen, but their fear keeps trying to delay what the heart already knows. And when fear and love collide, people become confusing. But confusing does not mean empty. Sometimes it means the feeling is bigger than they expected. There are moments when they try to move on. They stay busy. They talk to other people. They tell themselves they are imagining the connection. They force themselves to focus on logic instead of emotion. But no matter what they do, something always brings them back to you. A memory, a look, a message, a silence, a feeling they cannot explain. Why? Because what they feel around you is not fantasy. It is recognition. Your appearance carries something they trust emotionally, even if they do not fully understand it yet. Not perfection, not performance, not a polished image made to impress. Something real, and real is rare. Real stays. Real follows a person into the late hours when everything else fades. That is why they compare others to you without even meaning to. They notice quickly that something is missing. The comfort is missing. The honesty is missing. The quiet pull is missing. No one else reaches them in the same way. No one else makes silence feel alive like you do. Keep listening, because this next part is for the person who doubts their worth. Your so-called imperfections are not pushing them away. In many ways, they are the reason this person trusts what they feel. Your natural emotions make you believable. Your softness makes you safe. Your humanity makes you unforgettable. And in a world where so many people are trying to look perfect, you feel like truth they can rest in, and that is why forgetting you has become impossible. Sometimes they pull back because your beauty feels too emotional for them to handle. Not beauty in the usual shallow sense. Not the kind people talk about for show. Emotional beauty. The kind that lingers. The kind that sits in someone's chest at midnight. The kind that returns in quiet moments. The kind that makes a person think, this could change me if I let it. That is what scares them. Because once someone reaches that level inside you, once they begin to feel protective, attached, and emotionally exposed, there is no easy path back to pretending. They secretly worry that you do not know your own value. They notice the way you can be hard on yourself. They see how you hide insecurities under a smile. They catch the moments when you avoid attention because you fear being misunderstood. And every time they see that, their feelings deepen, not because they want to fix you, but because your vulnerability makes them care even more. Stay with me now, because this part is powerful. They are not drawn to some fake image of you. They are drawn to the real person, the person behind the smile, the person carrying quiet strength, the person still standing after hard days, the person whose face tells small truths before words do. That is what reaches them. That is what stays with them. And the more they feel it, the less they can deny that this connection is becoming one of the most important emotional experiences of their life. Late at night, when everything is still, this person keeps returning to one question: what if I lose them? That thought follows them more than they admit. Because beneath the confusion, beneath the delays, beneath the silence, their heart already knows you matter in a serious way. That is why your appearance affects them so deeply. Not because it is flawed, not because it is wrong, but because it carries emotional truth they cannot ignore. You remind them that love is not about looking perfect from the outside. It is about feeling understood in a way that reaches the soul. And that is what you do to them. You make them feel understood without even trying. You make them feel seen in places they thought would stay hidden forever. Do not leave now, because a turning point is close. The distance is not permanent. The mixed signals are not permanent. The silence is not permanent either. Something is building. Their resistance is getting weaker. Their feelings are getting harder to hide. And very soon, they will have to choose between staying trapped in fear or stepping into the truth. If this is touching your heart, stay until the last part, because the final truth ties everything together. What looked like hesitation was not a lack of love. It was love growing too fast for someone who never expected to feel this much. And that kind of growth always shakes the ground before it becomes clear. Every time you enter a room, they notice. Their eyes look for you without permission. Their emotions react before their mind can stop them. You may think they seem calm. You may think they are unaffected. But inside, it is not calm at all. Inside, there is movement. Inside, there is pressure. Inside, there is a storm between wanting to stay composed and wanting to break the silence at last. The detail in your appearance that affects them most is connected to vulnerability. Maybe it is the gentleness in your face. Maybe it is the heaviness in your eyes when life has worn you down. Maybe it is the way your smile can carry both warmth and sadness at once. Whatever it is, it makes them feel protective. And that feeling terrifies them because caring deeply means risking pain deeply. So when they pull away, it is often because the feeling became too real, not because it disappeared. Keep listening, because now we are getting closer to the biggest truth. They replay simple moments with you again and again. Not the dramatic moments, the small ones. The second you looked away while thinking. The pause before you answered. The quick change in your expression before you hid emotion again. Those tiny moments stayed with them because your face speaks in ways your words do not. And somehow they hear it all. They hear the truth behind the silence. They hear the softness behind the strength. They hear the longing behind the restraint. And it reaches them every time. This world taught them to expect temporary things. Temporary attention, temporary connection, temporary love. Then you appeared with sincerity in your eyes, and suddenly their heart did not know how to protect itself the same way anymore. They compare others to you, even when they try not to. They distract themselves, but something always feels missing. No one else carries your emotional presence. No one else leaves this kind of memory after simply existing in the room. No one else makes them feel calm and exposed at the same time. And deep down, they know exactly why. The thing they struggled to accept about your appearance is actually the thing that makes them trust you. Your imperfections make you feel real. Your natural emotions make you feel safe. Your honesty makes you feel unforgettable. In a world full of polished masks, you feel like home to a part of them that has been tired for a long time. Do not skip this part because it matters. They keep coming back emotionally even when they try to pull away physically because their soul feels quiet around yours. That kind of peace is rare. That kind of emotional recognition does not happen every day, and once it happens, a person may delay, deny, and resist, but they cannot erase it. They can hide from you for a while, they can hide from the world for a while, but they cannot hide from what their own heart has already felt. That truth is growing stronger with every passing day. The signs are already starting to show. Their attention toward you is getting stronger. Their emotional walls are slowly falling. Their silence is becoming heavier because hiding this is beginning to hurt more than admitting it. And when the truth finally comes out, you will understand every confusing moment between you. You will understand the long stares, the sudden quiet, the strange energy, the way they kept coming close in invisible ways even when physical distance was there. It was always love, not light love, not surface attraction, a deep emotional connection they could not explain in simple words. That is why this story is not ending in confusion. It is moving toward clarity. It is moving toward truth. It is moving toward the moment when they stop running from what their heart has already accepted. You became important to them in a way very few people ever do. And once someone reaches that level of attachment, life does not stay the same. So if you have been questioning your worth because of your looks, hear this clearly. The very thing you worried about may be the same thing that made them trust the connection, the same thing that made them feel tenderness, the same thing that made them feel something honest in a world that trained them to expect almost nothing honest at all. Stay for the final part, because this is where the message turns from confusion into certainty and from fear into emotional truth. You were never too much. You were never not enough. You were never hard to love because of the things you notice in the mirror. The truth is far different. There is someone whose heart changed because of you, someone who acts distant on the outside while growing more attached on the inside every single day. They tried to control it, they tried to label it as temporary, they tried to make it smaller than it really is. But every time they see you, everything they built to stay safe begins to crack. Because the one thing about your appearance they cannot escape is not a problem at all. It is the feeling of truth it gives them. It is the way your face, your eyes, your softness, your scars, your quiet strength, all of it together tells them this connection is real, and that is what they have been afraid of. Not you, not your appearance, the depth of what loving you would require from them. Very soon, that fear will not be strong enough to hold back what is already rising in their chest. A message may come, a moment may happen, a truth may slip out when they least expect it. And when it does, you will finally see that behind all the mixed signals, there was always one steady feeling growing in silence. Love. If this spoke to you, hold on to it. And if one line hit your heart hard, remember it, because sometimes the soul recognizes truth before the mind does. Like, comment what part reached you most and stay close for more messages about love, hidden feelings, and the quiet truths people are often too afraid to say out loud.